Good morning, it's Thursday, November the 12th, and welcome to the Deadline Press Agency roundup of what's in the Scottish newspapers today. I'm Oliver Farrimond.
And I'm Rory Reynolds. Let's start with the Scottish Daily Express today, the voice of New Scotland.
On the front page of the Daily Express, Britain is bouncing back from recession, according to Mervyn King. He's forecast a sprightly 4% growth next year. And also on the front page of the Express is a selection of this year's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here candidates. Daily Express, of course, a great proponent of campaigns, and their campaign Don't Trash Our Cash, which was to have Scotland's banknotes readily accepted in the UK. They've got a story off the back of that. A lorry driver tried to pay his council tax with a Scottish £10 note, and the council rejected him and apparently even referred him to an ancient book to see why he couldn't use it. More optimistic news of economic recovery on the front page of The Times, as well as a large picture of yesterday's Remembrance Day services. The Times have devoted page 5 to coverage of Alex Salmond and today's by-election in Glasgow North East. Alex Salmond apparently has refused to predict an SNP victory, which is probably the closest he'll come to saying that there probably isn't going to be one. And above that, on page 5, a prominent SNP candidate, Osama Saeed, is in trouble for praising a radical Muslim cleric who apparently inspired the shootings at the army base in Texas last week. In 2006, Osama Saeed wrote that Mr. al-Awlaki preached nothing but peace, and these are troubling links, and the FBI are in fact looking into links between the gunman and this chap, Mr. al-Awlaki, that Osama Saeed has praised. Mike Wade of The Times reports that Scotland's first gold mine is due to open. Production will begin in 2011, and 20,000 ounces of gold will be mined annually, representing revenues of £13 million a year. The chief executive of Scott Gold took a photographer and a reporter into the mine and showed them around. It's fascinating stuff. The Scottish Sun have got Susan Boyle on their front page. A stalker, a middle-aged American woman, has followed her around the whole world and turned up outside her door. Apparently Susan is shaken, and Simon Cowell has ordered that she be given more protection.
A security guard nabbed the stalker after she turned up at Susan Boyle's Blackburn home in West Lothian.
The latest attack on a reality TV star's Leona Lewis was slapped in the face at a book signing in Waterstones recently. Further into the Sun on page 23, a really sad story about Germany goalkeeper Robert Enke. He was the Bundesliga 2008/9 goalkeeper of the year, and he committed suicide.
The star goalie stepped in front of a high-speed train going 100 miles an hour because he feared the death of his second daughter.
His first daughter, Lara, died of a heart defect at just 2 years old, and they've gone to the funeral here, and there's a picture of Michael Ballack, who's Germany's captain, comforting Enke's widow. It's very, very sad. There's two good exclusives on Diageo in today's newspapers. The first is on the front page of the Record book. We'll get to that in a minute. On 4 and 5, the Scottish Sun have got an exclusive that Diageo have taken £1 million of taxpayers' cash and then grabbing another payout after that to fund a new bottling plant that's putting all these workers out of a job. It's a good story from Andrew Nicholl, the Scottish political reporter. And that exclusive on the front page of the Daily Record, Diageo bosses are offering Johnny Walker workers cream buns to work overtime, as well as cream buns that are offering them breakfast, chocolates and even lottery tickets. And workers are appalled. One said, "It's a disgrace and a total farce. We can't stomach their cheap gimmicks."
And they've added that Diageo made £2 billion profit last year, but have still dumped 900 workers.
On pages 10 and 11 in the Record, and all the papers have a similar spread to this, Remembrance Day. Yesterday's service is particularly poignant for two reasons. Firstly, the last veterans of the First World War passed away this year, Harry Patch, William Stone and Henry Allingham, and also with our casualties mounting in Afghanistan, the focus on soldier sacrifice is very much in place yesterday.
And they have pictures from across Europe, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Belgium. They have a picture of Rifleman Craig Wood, who was badly disfigured, and he's at a remembrance ceremony in Belgium. And they have a young boy wearing a Scots Guards cap from Edinburgh. Just staying on that topic for a moment, the Scottish Daily Mirror have splashed pictures of a photo shoot for Remembrance Day involving David Cameron, and they've lashed out at the Conservative Party saying, "How low can you go?" And they have a picture of Cameron posing next to poppies with his personal photographer just behind him. And the Mirror claiming here that Andrew Parsons, the Tories photographer, barked orders at Mr Cameron to move to various different poses. And moving on to page 11, the Mirror have a story about Royal Bank of Scotland's plans for a Christmas bash. They've said that bosses want to serve champagne from 7 a.m. and hold rowdy karaoke bashes on all 8 stories of their London headquarters.
A spokesman for the Independent Banking Advisory Service, Eddie Wetherill, questioned why they needed to drink 365 days a year and compared Scotland's largest bank to a gentleman's club.
Front page of the Scottish Daily Mail, and this is a story over the Ministry of Defence's bonuses. The Mail have said that 300 million in performance pay has been and is to be handed out to staff at the Ministry of Defence. This is in several of the papers today, but the figure of the bonuses does vary quite wildly. On page 8, a story about the SNP's plans to abolish short prison sentences. They've said it's been rejected here. They've noted Kenny McCaskill had intended to scrap short sentences in favour of tough community services, but the Holyrood Justice Committee said that the effect of a prison service is much greater than having to do odd jobs.
Kenny McCaskill seems to have spent quite a large portion of his tenure as Justice Secretary dealing with the problems in Scotland's prisons, overcrowding being just one of them.
Another one of the big issues for the Justice Secretary is slopping out, and the news last week that this could cost Scotland's prisons around £60 million this year in compensation. And a similar story on the Ministry of Defence bonuses. They're saying that £47 million has been paid out, and this is to 50,000 MOD staff, bonuses of £1,000 to £8,000, and this is for improved performance over this year.
The mother of a soldier who died in Helmand called the bonuses obscene, and Dr. Leon Fox, the Tories' shadow defence secretary, also slammed the bonuses.
On page 4 and 5 of the Scotsman today, there's a story with a detailed map listing how 1 in 5 young people are out of work, and they have a breakdown across Scotland of how the jobless figures add up. The west of Scotland by far the worst, with areas in Glasgow and Ayrshire and Dumbartonshire topping 10% or more.
The city of Aberdeen, the Orkney Islands and the Shetland Islands all staying relatively modest, with unemployment rates for 18 to 24-year-olds hovering at around 3%.
And just worth noting here that the city of Edinburgh has 4.8% unemployment, but this is more than double of what it was 2 years ago, when it was just 2.2% of people in Edinburgh were unemployed. On the Daily Star of Scotland today, a lot on the new celebrity lineup for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Just a couple of pictures on the front cover here of Sam Fox, snooker player Jimmy White, and obviously Jordan, who will be the big catch of the reality TV show. They say she's in for a kicking, as the stars will gang up on her. The big finale of the Homecoming Scotland campaign is an embarrassment. That's on the front page of the Herald today. They've said that plans have had to be scaled down because of a sheer lack of interest. They've noted here the gathering in Edinburgh, which was held during the summer, lost 600,000, and they've charted how the government has ploughed money into the Homecoming 2009 celebrations.
Homecoming Scotland, an absolute flagship in the SNP's political year, so it's embarrassing if this does fall flat.
And on page 6 of the Herald, a picture of Willie Bain, the Labour candidate for Glasgow North East by-election, with the comedian Eddie Izzard, who was campaigning in the city. They've also got a picture of David Kerr, the SNP's candidate, with Alex Salmond, and the election will be held today.
Alex Salmond is promising to fight this to the wire, but polls are indicating that it's not going to be anything less than a victory for Labour's Willie Bain. Turnout could be a problem with poor weather in Glasgow today, and anything below 19% would be a record for an election in the UK. It's not quite a star-studded lineup, but there's some very familiar names. John Smeaton, of course, who's got the backing of Jury Team, and Tommy Sheridan, just a few of the names there. The Daily Telegraph, one of the papers to have the MOD bonuses on its front page today, but they've also noted Peter Mandelson's new role as the Minister of Information. Apparently his remit will be trying to sell government policy to the public by a televised broadcast that will initially be featured on the Downing Street website.
Lord Mandelson, of course, unelected, already the First Secretary of the Cabinet, as well as the Business Secretary, and now he will control government information.
He's one of the key architects of government policy, and now he's in charge of selling it to the public. There's probably more than a few people whose eyebrows were raised at his somewhat Orwellian new moniker.
The Telegraph have noted Lord Mandelson's rapid rise back to cabinet level after he was dramatically recalled after spending years lunching in Europe. And on that bombshell, we will sign off for today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Today's Thursday, the 12th of November. We're taking a well-earned day off tomorrow, so we'll see you on Monday morning.